Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So today we have a whole host of voice actor related drama to go through. So there is a bunch of people in the English dub voice acting industry who are raising some very concerning arguments involving the race of voice actors and how that should factor in to the hiring process for certain roles. We're going to look at one member of the industry who claims that people should be only able to voice characters that match the color of their skin. And then we're going to look at another voice actress who was recently bullied by her peers and Twitter freaks to the point where she had to publicly apologize for taking a role for a character that didn't match her skin tone. Now, we're going to begin with this person right here named Little Kuriboh. Now, you might have heard of this person. They have a pretty popular YouTube channel. So we're just going to read their statement to start off. They say, black voice actors should be playing black characters. It's not about whether the actor sounds black enough. It's about letting performers speak from a place of truth. It's about letting performers who have been notoriously sidelined actually perform, at the very goddamn least. Now, before we get into everything wrong with this terrible tweet, let me just make my stance on this whole related issue. It's one that I think most people can agree on, but somehow people like this would label me a bigot over it. So when it comes to the voice acting industry, I believe it is the most naturally pure and inclusive mediums out there that exists. It is a place where the color of your skin and your appearance and other factors you were born with and didn't control, those do not matter. What matters is the voice that you provide, your talent and ability. It is the only place I can think of in the entertainment industry where anyone, regardless of their background, can walk into an audition and have the same shot as everyone else. I think that is a beautiful, great thing, and I disagree with pro-segregationalists like this who believe that your race is the most important deciding factor as to whether you get a role in the voice acting industry or not. So let's go through everything they said. There's a lot to go through, so let's begin with the basic statement here. Black voice actors should be playing black characters, which is a very interesting thing for a person like this to say, because Kuriboh is a person who got famous for making dubs of the Yu-Gi-Oh series, which obviously these characters are Japanese, and this person is a white man. So it's okay for you as a white man to voice Japanese characters, but only black people can voice black characters. Seems a bit hypocritical, because we all know this logic won't be extended beyond this in any sort of a meaningful way. Like, are you really gonna go as far as to say that black people should only voice black characters, and also Japanese characters can only be voiced by Japanese people, and so on and so forth? Clearly no, the whole dub industry would collapse, and it's a ridiculous statement to say. And they go on to say it's not about whether the actor sounds black enough. Excuse me, what does black sound like? I don't know. Like, I'm at a loss. Like, what does black sound like to you? It sounds like you're basing that off of stereotypes, which once again is not a very progressive way of thinking. Like, honestly, like, let's take a step back here. So you have these notions of how certain races sound, and you want people to be divided based on the color of their skin. You have to ask yourself, when you start making points that actual racists make, maybe it's time to reevaluate your woke stance on an issue, right? Seems pretty concerning. Like, it reminds me of the whole Mirko dub for My Hero Academia, when we had that viral tweet of someone saying black should sound black, and that person obviously got crucified. But how is it any different than this? Like, it's very strange. But they go on to say it's about letting performers speak from a place of truth. Brother, I think you've been spending too much time on Twitter because you got brainworms. Like, speaking from a place of truth, I get that voice acting is an art, right? You put your passion and soul into your performances, but this sounds Reddit tier ridiculous. Like, you're there to do a job. You're performing a role, not speaking your truth. I mean, is someone not speaking their truth because they're voicing a character that doesn't look like them? That's absolutely ridiculous. If you're a professional and skilled at this, you should be able to speak your truth regardless of what the character looks like and what you look like. It's about the performance, providing the best voice of that character. It's so silly. And, this tweet obviously was getting a lot of backlash, and they confirmed everything that they're saying. And it's really sad to see a member of the industry and someone who made their whole calling dubbing Japanese characters as a white person come out in 180 and try to virtue signal over the same thing in a very hypocritical fashion that only divides people. All this does is divide people. They can't live for 1 second in this world without viewing people by their race. That's like the most deciding factor of how these people view anyone. It's like race comes first, everything else comes second. And I think that's wrong. I think everybody should be treated the same. And in the voice acting industry, every role should be available to the best talents, and everyone should have a shot regardless of what they look like in real life. That is the beauty of the voice acting industry. But this sort of issue would bleed over into other areas. So we have this voice actress, Amy Smith. She is an Australian voice actor. So she announced this the other day saying, double announcement, I'm so excited to share that I voiced both Izanami and Ain in the latest Dislight Sea of Sorrow event. So this tweet would get a lot of backlash. Now, you can probably piece this together for yourself, but Amy is a white Australian voice actress, and these characters are apparently off limits for her. But interestingly enough, you can probably guess which character people are outraged that she's providing the voice for. Is it this Japanese character? Is anyone angry about the fact that this Australian woman is voicing a Japanese character? No, not a single person's offended by that. But everybody's offended by her voicing this character with a darker skin tone. And it's quite predictable. I mean, like I said, the hypocrisy with these standards of who gets to play which type of a character never applies to Japanese characters. It's free range. Anyone of any color can voice a Japanese character, but that doesn't apply to other characters. It depends on, a whole set of factors that are completely hypocritical. But she was getting a lot of flack from other members of the industry like this saying, came on Twitter and saw this in my For You. Correct me if I'm wrong, but is Ain a person of color? Looking over Ain's announcement on Dislight's Twitter, there seems to be folks happy about Ain being another great person of color character in the game, so I'm quite confused. Why are you confused? What is confusing you? That you're seeing someone voice a character? You're confused because you believe that race, the race of the voice actor, is the most important thing for someone getting hired. And I can't believe I have to explain to a full-grown adult how that is wrong. But this whole thing about asking if this character is a person of color, I think it's hilarious because we're dealing with fiction, right? What would happen if the creator of this character just came out and said, no, actually, this is a white character? What would you do? Would your brain just shut down? Would you just hyperventilate? What would you do if that happened? It would completely flip these people's worlds upside down. Because that's how meaningless this whole concept is when it comes to fictional characters. None of it matters in any shape or form. But moving on, here we have another member of the industry attacking Amy. This time they said, did you see the character art before booking? That is very clearly a black character, so I thought I'd ask. Which, of course, they're doing this in a very snarky way. And they know the answer to this question. Of course they saw the character, so you're just trying to make them look bad. But here's the thing about hyper-focusing on the race of the character and the voice actor. I love bringing out this example because it really just exemplifies how meaningless all this is. Think about the character Goku, right? Everyone loves Goku. There's people from every different background in the world who love and connect with the character Goku from Dragon Ball, right? And you have to ask yourself, and I would ask this person, why do these people connect universally with this character? Is it the color of the character's skin? Is the color of the voice actor's skin? Absolutely not. All of those things do not matter. People connect with the character and the voice that brings it to life. The color or pale skin of Goku, who's not even human, by the way, doesn't matter to them. They like his character and they like the voice that's provided, not the voice and the skin tone of the voice actor providing that voice. Those things are all irrelevant. It's about providing a solid performance for a well-written character. That's what people like. All these things are completely meaningless. It only matters to people trying to virtue signal on Twitter. So here we have probably the biggest quote retweet attacking them. It's from another fellow member of the industry who's been involved with some dubs of various big anime like One Piece, Spy Family, and so on. So they say, a warning to voice actors, don't do this. It will never be worth the booking. This casting director didn't care, but many do, and it doesn't go unnoticed. We have to trust in our actors, and this is a red flag. You are 100% right. This is a red flag for you, because if I was a person looking for an anime to watch, a dub, and I saw that someone like this is involved who doesn't believe talent is the most important factor for the hiring process, I'm not going to trust your dub. I'm not going to trust the quality of it because you have a completely backwards set of values that you look for when hiring talents. And this whole thing about we have to trust in our actors. What do you mean? Trust that they're going to try to get every opportunity they can to advance their career, that they can see beyond color and try to perform a role for what it is, and that is a voice acting role. But this whole hyperfixation on Amy and not the people who hired her is ridiculous to me. Like, she wouldn't have had this opportunity if she wasn't hired for it. And they hired her knowing her skin color versus the character, and they didn't care. And why are you so focused on Amy? I just don't understand it. It won't be worth it is so funny. It's like someone does an innocent action, right? It's like someone goes to the grocery store, right? Minding their own business, and then a bunch of people jump them as soon as they get into the grocery store. And then they mock the person, the victim, and say, see, wasn't worth it. You shouldn't have gone there. Well, Amy was doing what a voice actress should do, and that's apply for any role that she sees fit. And then you people make it an issue and punish her and drag her publicly. And you want to wag your finger and basically tell her and other voice actresses it's not worth it. It's not worth it because of you. The viewer, the people actually consuming this stuff, are the ones who don't care about this stuff. You're the ones who care. Like, you can get as many likes from your fellow voice actors and Twitter freaks who applaud this sort of stuff, but the actual consumers don't care about any of it. And if they saw your attitude like this, they would be completely turned off, not only by you, but anything you're working on. And obviously, they have no self-awareness, so they would never see this sort of connection. But we got the bad ending, ladies and gentlemen. Only a day later, Amy would come out with this apology where she not only relinquishes her role, she says that she made a mistake and was apologizing, and basically this is all her fault. And I couldn't feel any worse for Amy. She got completely gaslit by a bunch of bullies that are not only just random Twitter users, but also her fellow peers in the industry. They gaslit and bullied her to the point of giving up a reasonable opportunity for her, something she was excited about, to the point where she had to give up and apologize. What is she apologizing for? It's so sad. Like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, I can't believe she bent the knee and apologized to these people. I mean, yeah, it was the wrong decision, but I understand the pressure she was under, and I feel sorry for her. I feel sorry for her because she genuinely must have felt like she had to make this decision. And it's so sad that she was put in this position in the first place, and that she was truly gaslit and bullied to the point where she gives up a role that she really cherished because a bunch of terminally online losers said there was something wrong and that her race was not fitting of a voice acting role. Sounds very backwards, but of course, it's never enough for any of these people who are outraged. So a voice casting and production studio came forward to make this quote retweet of her apology saying, "Attention voice actors, Amy's apology is being co-opted by people outside our beloved community who are using her genuine acknowledgement of her own mistakes to martyr her and further a toxic, hateful agenda without knowing her or her values. Nobody deserves that." Yeah, nobody deserves this treatment. You're right. Amy did not deserve this. And it's a huge cop-out where they're saying it's being co-opted by these terrible people. No, you go through the quote retweets of her statement, and there's tons of voice actors saying you should have never apologized, you never did anything wrong. She did not make a mistake. That is very clear. But the irony of saying that these people are pushing a toxic and hateful agenda. Really? Toxic and hateful agenda because people don't want to segregate others based on the color of their skin? That's hateful? That's how far off we've fallen? How far off this industry has fallen? That you're a bigot for saying that skin color should not matter in the hiring process of voice acting roles? This whole situation is mind-boggling. It is so depressing. I see so many aspiring voice actors. People have right in their Twitter bio, like, aspiring voice actor. They're going through the quote retweets and they're like, I am so, like, disheartened by situations like this. They feel like they don't even want to bother with this industry because they feel like they're going to be judged and ostracized based on characteristics they were born with and have no control over. And people like this wagging their finger, thinking that they're the virtuous ones in this situation, when in reality they are resembling that of bigots who think race is the most important quality of a person and that that's how someone should be divided and treated differently. It is so sad, and honestly, the Western voice acting industry is just falling lower and lower, and one day these people maybe will start to realize why they're not getting the level of support that they feel like they should be getting, and I don't know, might be a long time because self-awareness is not their forte in this industry. But that's going to do it for this video. I know it was a lot and a very controversial set of topics, so please let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.